Welcome to Coffee Powered Systems, equipping women with actionable steps to overcome overwhelm and streamline business and life. So grab your favorite drink and come hang out with me. I'm your host, Miranda Merton. Hey there, lovelies. Welcome back to Coffee Powered Systems. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. If you are in the United States and listening to this live as it's released, you will know that this weekend is Halloween weekend. So I had some fun today carving pumpkins with my daughter. That's always a good time, and getting those ready to go out. It's always fun to see everybody's creativity when it comes to, doing the pumpkins and putting up the decorations. Really cool walking around the neighborhood and sometimes getting a little envious of all the fancy decorations, but I digress. So happy Halloween to my US people. If you're elsewhere in the world, if you're celebrating anything else this weekend, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you have been listening to this podcast for a while, then you know that on Tuesdays, I do Tip Tuesdays. If you haven't been listening, then Tuesdays are when I will submit or do a review, I should say, of an app or a business tool that might be useful for you in your personal productivity or in your business. And I have reviewed a few popular task management apps. Those include Asana and ZenKit, which were pretty early on in the podcast, so you'll find those in the earlier episodes. And a few episodes ago, I did one on ClickUp, and these are all project management type apps. You have to understand that not all apps will work for every situation. So that's why I like to give you a few different options. Every once in a while, maybe one will click with you. One of them is like, maybe that's not for me. So depending on your situation, it's gonna kind of guide you in which project management app is right for you. And that's gonna depend on whether you work solo or in a team, or if you need multiple different views because you want to view the different types of workloads between you and your team members, or view different projects different ways. Those little details are going to matter to you. So here's a scenario I've been through myself. Maybe you're familiar with it. You find a project management app. You take days, maybe even some cases weeks, dumping all of your information into it, setting it all up, getting it just perfect the way you want to use it, and you either start the free trial, or maybe you're just using the free version, or you pay for the first month and use it for a few weeks to only realize that it's not going to be the right one for you after all. There's a couple little quirks you don't like, or maybe you thought you liked the design, but overall it's a little clunky, or the way you need to make like 3 or 4 clicks just to find one thing isn't working for you, and you have to start all over again. And that's so frustrating. And I've been there, I've done it, I do it all, I do it with other apps, not just project management, but I have been on this roller coaster. Then again, I also do it to myself because I do like to try new ones, and I do like to try different project management tools when they come out. Number one, because I like to try them for myself. I'm just a techie kind of person. I like tinkering with things on my downtime. I'll like go and try something new. And number two, I like doing it for this podcast and for my business. So when I come across something new, if someone needs a recommendation, I can have some. I can throw one out there. So to save you the trouble of going through this time and time again, over and over again, on this roller coaster, on this hamster wheel, I have created a quick quiz that you can take to help narrow down the right tool for you. Now, this is based on a few things like the way it functions, or the price point, or your team size, and it's a 7-question quiz. It'll take less than a minute to do. I tried 13 of the most popular task management apps, and these are either apps that I have used for a period of time, or ones that I've just tested, tried it out, tested it out just to see how it works. My current app of choice is Coda for task and project management. I did an episode on that one back in episode 62, Coda versus Notion. And so you can go listen to that if you want to learn a little bit more about it. But once you take this quiz, you fall into one of 5 groups. So it's group 1, group 2, all the way to group 5. And when you take the quiz, you get a detailed report with a few different options mailed to you. So each group will either have 2, 3, or 4 different project management apps that are within that group. And they're grouped similarly by how they function, and then by price and some other things like whether they're good for teams and things like that. So that is how the quiz is laid out. And when you get your detailed report, it includes a roundup of those different types. So for example, in one group there's Noseby and Amazing Marvin. Those are good for working solo. They're structured a certain way. Amazing Marvin right now is just a solo app. Noseby you can work with teams on, so we're going to have slight differences on them. Coda and Notion is another group where if you're looking to build a system from scratch or use like more of a wiki style and spreadsheet style, that's going to give you that different group. So you can see as you get into the group why they were grouped that way, and based on how you like to work, that's going to be the group you fall into. Of course, this is not a scientific study that once you receive your results, you're going to be bound for life. It's just to give you a starting point. And if for some reason you are someone who finds yourself, in that scenario that I told you about earlier, you're constantly looking for one that will fit your style. Or if you are starting from the very beginning and you don't quite know where to start, because let's be honest, there are more than 13 apps out there. There's a ton, and every week, every month, there's new ones that pop up. We can't all keep up. They've all got slight differences. Essentially, sometimes it's just a matter of when it came into your orbit. Okay, you could be just doing something and all of a sudden you see an ad pop up, or you see it on AppSumo, or a friend is using it and mentions it. Sometimes that's all it takes. It just gets into your orbit and that's what you start using, you like it, and you go with it. But other times you just don't know where to begin because there are so many and you don't know how to distinguish between it. So that's what this is for. It'll at least give you a couple of different ones to start with. If you don't think you fell into the right group, you can always take the quiz again. But for those of you that are curious Nellies who love to have all the details, you will also get access to the full report that has all of the apps on there, breaks down their features of what's included, their price points, and of course links out to each of their sales pages. Now, I will caveat that features do change, and I'm not a representative of any of these companies, and it's just for reference only. If they change something on their website, if they change the pricing or the features, that worksheet might not reflect the change. So I just want to state that as well. So if this looks like something that you need or you're interested in, you can take the quiz at mirandamerton.com/quiz, or it's right there on my homepage as well at the top. You can just click the button that says take the quiz, and then you can, in 60 seconds or less, you will get your quiz results emailed to you with the breakdown of the apps that are recommended for you. All right, so that is all I have for today. I will drop those links down in the show notes for you, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening to Coffee Powered Systems. You can find links to everything mentioned in the episode down in the show notes or on the website at mirandamerton.com. If you enjoyed this episode, rate and review it in iTunes or where you enjoy listening so others can find it too. And join me here next time.